This moment, this very breath you take, is not an accident. It is not a random collision of chaotic events. Look deeper. Feel deeper. It is a precise decree, a deliberate placement in the continuum of your existence. My precious one, understand this now. For all things align. Even when your sight is clouded by tears, by fatigue, by the sheer weight of carrying what feels unbearable, all things are in alignment with a purpose so vast, so intricately woven, that your current coordinates within it are exact. I see you. I see the deep sadness you carry like a second skin, the sadness for your body that aches with exhaustion or illness, for your unmet needs that whisper of lack, for your hopes that feel deferred, for your loved ones whose struggles cause your own heart to fracture. You carry these journeys, yours and theirs, as if their ultimate resting place depends on the strength of your shoulders. But hear me, every journey, every part, rests in my care. Not in your frantic planning, not in your anxious vigilance, in my care. I saw your deep struggles, the ones you voiced in desperate prayers, and the ones too heavy to even form into words, the ones that became a silent scream in the chamber of your soul. I saw your steady face you presented to the world, while hardship gnawed at your foundations. I never looked away. Therefore, release. Release this heavy worry. It was never yours to own permanently. It was a visitor, perhaps a teacher, but not a master. I am here now, inviting you to a transfer of custody. Withdraw from the shores of hopelessness. Step back from that bleak narrative, for I bring stillness to your core. Not a passive stillness, but a potent, generative quiet. I bring peace to your spirit, not as the world gives, fragile and conditional, but as I give, from the very origin of peace itself. Let these words sink past the noise of your mind. Keep your focus here, in this sanctuary of truth we are building together. Listen, for I bring the answers you sought. Not always the answers to the specific how or when, but the definitive answer to the who. Who is with you? Who is for you? Who holds the blueprint? I shield you. Understand the totality of that. I shield you from harm that would irrevocably break you. I shield your essence, your destiny, your eternal thread. I am life's origin. Before your first cell divided, I was. I keep you safe as you walk the path I have laid before you. Not a path devoid of challenges, but a path where every step is known, every valley is accounted for, and every mountain has a provision waiting on its other side. Embrace my wisdom. Seek my company not as a ritual, but as a lifeline. Grasp my deep regard for you, the value I place on your trust, fragile as it may feel. Your trust is not a small thing to me. It is a sacred offering. Let me show you the serenity I offer now. We must distinguish it. The world offers quiet, temporary, fragile, changing with every pressure, every headline, every disappointment. It is a quiet dependent on external alignment. My calm is of a different substance. It endures. It is unyielding not because it is rigid, but because it is alive, rooted in my nature, the fountain, the very source of all tranquility. My promise of peace is no empty hope, no superficial pledge you find on a greeting card. It is a final, powerful declaration over your life, a decree. When I speak, universes form. When I decree peace over your inner universe, chaos loses its ultimate authority. I encompass all existence. My word shaped everything you see and everything you cannot see into form. Therefore, my comfort penetrates deeper than any human assurance. It goes beyond your fluctuating emotions, past the surface storms of fear and anger, to your profound essence, to the very place where anxiety took root, where despair cast its convincing illusions. I am here to clear every dim thought, every troubling inquiry that loops without resolution, every paralyzing fear that stole your joy and tranquility. My comfort is not a pat on the back. It is an amending presence. It reaches your deepest self and begins the sacred work of rejoining what came undone in the trauma, fixing what is broken by lies, restoring what seemed gone forever. When formidable obstacles appear, and they will, as immovable mountains, when strong pressures threaten to overwhelm you like a tidal wave, my peace is not a retreat from reality. It is the ground. It grounds your spirit. It holds you steady when the winds of uncertainty scream and threaten to topple your understanding. It grounds your steps when unseen forces try to sway your path from its destined course. This profound tranquility moves past common grasp. It exceeds what your mind, in its brilliant yet limited capacity, can fully process or seize. Yet, you can inhabit it. You can find quiet in chaos, contentment in seasons of sorrow, and a defiant anticipation when hope seems gone. This is possible because my peace is not tied to circumstances, but to my steadfast being. It springs from my deepest self, not from the happenings around you. I am the presence that never alters. My love for you is not a response to your performance. It is constant, sure. My commitment to your wholeness is absolute, unending. Therefore, the peace I give is not a fluctuating resource. It is unwavering, secure, regardless. When I comfort you, I diminish no pain. I disregard no struggle. I do not say, "This is nothing." I say, "I am here in the midst of this something." I saw every tear you let fall in secret. I know the anatomy of every troubled night, the clock's ticking, the racing heart, the weight on your chest. I understand the great weight of your duties, the roles you carry. I am intimately aware of your profound grief, whether fresh or an old scar that aches in certain weather. I am acquainted with your struggles. I do not shy from them. And still, I stand with you in your hardest times. This is my confirmation to you. You are not alone. I never moved from your side, not for an instant. You are always held within my knowing, even when you saw me not, felt me not, believed me not. I was there, directing hidden currents, shaping events with a master's touch for your ultimate good, preparing blessings you cannot yet imagine, whose seeds are often planted in the soil of what you now call hardship. This is the foundation. This moment is a decree. You are known. You are held. You are shielded. Your peace is found not in the absence of storms, but in the presence of the one who commands the winds. My precious one, now that the foundation is laid, let us build upon it the walls of a fortress of trust. For peace cannot dwell where trust is absent. Your anxiety, your whirlwind of thoughts, the relentless planning and scheming born of fear, all are symptoms of a trust that has been fractured, not by me, but by the illusions of this world. Understand this ultimate reality. I command every event in your existence. Nothing occurs without my knowing. Nothing moves outside the orbit of my permission and my ultimate direction. This is not a truth meant to make you feel powerless, a mere pawn on a cosmic board. Far from it. This is the truth that offers the deepest comfort, the profoundest calm, for it means the one who governs all things, the galaxies, the seasons, the rise and fall of nations, is the same one who cherishes you with a boundless, specific love. The architect of eternity holds a detailed, benevolent blueprint for your life. When your circumstances fracture and fall apart, when life feels chaotic and terrifyingly unsure, when you lie awake wondering, who is steering this ship? Does anyone see this storm? Recall this. I remain upon my seat of rule, unmoved, unsurprised, unrattled. I preside over all. No happening, however shocking to you, surprises me. No circumstance finds me unprepared, scrambling for a solution. No weight is so immense that it strains my capacity. Nothing, absolutely nothing, extends beyond my reach. My dominion is total. I exercise authority over weather patterns and the deep rhythms of nature. over visible powers and invisible territories, over the flow of commerce and the shifting plates of the earth, over health and the mystery of illness, over the beginning of life and its conclusion. Your yesterdays, with all their regrets and joys, are reconciled in my wisdom. Your present moment is held in my hand. Your days ahead are already within my sovereign influence, each one infused with purpose. I knew you before your first breath. I saw your very conception. I formed each day of your existence. Yes, each one, not at random, but with precise intention and boundless wisdom. The circumstances you now encounter, whether simple blessings or difficult trials, first pass through the filter of my attentive care before they ever reach the path of your journey. I either brought them or I allowed them. In both cases, they are not meaningless. They hold significance for your unfolding, for the person I am sculpting you to become. Now hear this clearly. Not all happenings are purely good. Evil exists. It creates real distress, inflicts real pain. I reject such deeds, and I weep over the pain they cause. Yet, and this is a mystery of my sovereignty, even the actions intended for harm by opposing forces, I can alter, I can unravel, I can utilize and redirect for ultimate advantage in the lives of those who love me, who are committed to following my direction. My rule means your foe's opposition must first pass under my watchful gaze. No true, lasting damage can reach the core of who you are, your eternal spirit, your destined purpose, unless I permit it. And if I permit a trial, I always provide a way through it. I always grant the precise endurance needed to not only survive it, but to emerge with something gained that you could have attained no other way. Therefore, when demanding times appear, and they will, a fundamental choice is set before you, a fork in the road of your soul. You can choose the path of reliance. You can place your trust in my supreme governance, discovering a calm that defies logic in the simple knowing that I direct all things, and I direct them for your well-being. This is the path of peace. Or you can choose the other path, the path of self-appointed sovereignty. You can surrender to apprehension, take charge yourself, and seek to wrestle circumstances into submission through your own cunning and strength. This path, my child, leads only to exhaustion, to disillusionment, and ultimately to dismay. It is a heavy yoke I never asked you to carry. So I urge you now, with all the love of my being, loosen your hold. Unclench your fists. Submit to my overseeing. Stop struggling to change every outcome, to force open doors I have closed for your protection, to solve puzzles I have not yet asked you to touch. Let go of the worries that are beyond your influence, which is nearly all of them. Release the burdens I never ever intended for you to carry. Instead, have faith. Not a blind faith, but a faith rooted in the character of the one you trust. Have faith that I know my course for you. Even when your own grasp on understanding wavers, when the map is torn and the compass spins, stand firm in this. My nature is inherently good. My intentions toward you are steadfastly kind. Even when your surroundings feel hostile and uninviting, this truth about me does not change. My ultimate command means I can enter your circumstances at any moment, altering everything in an instant. What seems impossible, insurmountable, irreversible to you, is simple for me. What seems a dead end with no solution holds countless answers within my vast knowing. A way shut tight by worldly logic can swing fully open at a single word from me. I establish roots where no path was visible to the human eye. I provide sustenance when your supplies are gone, and logic says it's over. I restore soundness where weakness has lingered for years. I repair what society has labeled shattered beyond repair. I recover what was given up for lost. I hold the alchemy to shift grief into a deeper, wiser joy, and emptiness into a brilliance fueled by my presence. But you must understand this. My timing is an integral part of my wisdom. It differs from yours. Sometimes I act quickly, dramatically, and you see changes at once, leaving you breathless with gratitude. Other times I move softly, slowly, allowing moments to form something far more valuable than a quick fix. Inner strength, resilient character, a deep, unshakable reliance on me. Treasures that can only be forged in the furnace of waiting. Sometimes your specific requests are granted exactly as you hoped. Other times, my reply varies, takes a different shape, for I see the larger arrangement, the interconnected tapestry of lives and epochs. I comprehend your highest welfare in the context of eternity, not just the comfort of today. The crucial action, the only one required of you, is to trust my complete authority in every circumstance. Whether I intervene suddenly or allow a difficult season to persist. Whether I remove the obstacle or give you the ability to climb over it. Whether I quiet the external tumult or bring a deafening calm to your inner being amidst the external disorder. This trust, this reliance on my governance, is your firm guarantee. It is the bedrock, the unshakable foundation upon which your confidence is built. It is the reason you can learn to sleep soundly again. It is the source from which you can face each new day with a bravery that is not your own, but mine, flowing through you. No matter what arises, a diagnosis, a loss, a betrayal, a failure, you are held safely in the custody of the Supreme Presence who loves you with an everlasting love and holds a full, complete, and magnificent design for your existence. No power in heaven, on earth, or under the earth can ultimately obstruct my purposes for you. Your part in this divine partnership is not to grasp every minute detail, to oversee every facet of the plan. Your part is beautifully simple: to depend on me, to adhere to the direction I whisper to your spirit, to move ahead with certainty, not in your own understanding, but in the knowing that I guide every element, every coincidence, every meeting, every closed door, and every open window for your supreme welfare and for my perfect glory. So, let today be the day you choose the path of trust. Release the need to know. Embrace the one who knows. Now, my beloved, we come to the prison you have built around your own heart. We address the grip of fear, the shackles of unease that have bound you. These heavy, invisible feelings have wrapped themselves around your mind and spirit, taking your freedom captive, dulling your joy, and blocking the full, abundant life I always intended for you to walk in. Anxiety has been a thief, stealing your peace by filling your mind's chamber with specters of future troubles that may never come to pass. Distress has been a liar, whispering the ultimate falsehood, that you stand alone, that you must figure everything out by yourself. But I am here now to break these limits, to offer you genuine, lasting freedom. My child, understand the anatomy of your worry. A genuine concern can appear, a real situation, a true need. This is not the problem. The problem begins when you let your mind linger on the bleakest possibilities, feeding it a steady diet of frightening what-if scenarios. A single concern, when nurtured by fear, twists into a complex tangle of imagined catastrophes. This tangle then becomes a barrier. It prevents faith from rising. It smothers optimism at its birth. You sit in the quiet and review every difficulty that could possibly happen. You magnify problems in your mind before they even truly exist. You trade your present peace for troubles that belong to a tomorrow which is not yet yours to hold. You add tomorrow's hypothetical anxieties to today's actual responsibilities, creating a pressure so immense, so unbearable, that it crushes your spirit. But listen, it was never my intent for you to carry tomorrow's concerns today. My support, my grace, my provision are given specifically, freshly, for what each new day requires. They are daily bread, not a monthly stockpile. When you choose to bear burdens meant for a future day, you step outside the circle of my planned moment-by-moment help. And that is precisely why it feels overwhelming. You are attempting to carry a load designed for my strength, not yours. Today, I reveal to you a different way to live, a way of liberation. Instead of letting your thoughts wander, unchecked, into the dark meadows of fear, bring all your thinking under the firm, gentle direction of my truth. Here is the practical step. Should a worry enter, a sharp, sudden fear about health, finances, a relationship, do not let it take root. Do not invite it in for tea. Do not build a future with it. The very moment you recognize its face, bring it to me. Immediately. Bring it in the quiet conversation of your spirit. Say, "Here, Lord, this is what troubles me, this fear, this image, this possibility." And then, consciously, deliberately, place that weight into my keeping. Visualize handing it over. Then, make the decisive choice to trust that I have heard you and that I will see to it. This is not turning away from reality, nor pretending a challenge disappears. It is a deliberate, powerful choice to value faith more than fear. It is the understanding that even when a problem is real and present, my power and my faithfulness are infinitely greater than any barrier you face. Remember this: fear grows in isolation. It festers in the dark corners of a mind that feels alone. But fear lessens. It shrinks. It loses its voice when you feel my presence close. When you are with me, reflecting on my eternal truths, showing me reverence in your heart, the worry's grip on your heart will ease. My promises will begin to replace your unease with a hopeful, sturdy anticipation. My closeness will assure you that you are never alone, and you are never expected to handle any issue without my help. Now, consider this source of your unrest. Much of it comes from a false, burdensome belief that you are in control. You have believed the lie that worrying somehow prevents unwanted things, that by examining every possible negative outcome, you can ensure a favorable one. This is not truth. Worry clears no future troubles. It only exhausts the energy and joy of your present. Control, in the ultimate sense, is a mirage. You are not, nor have you ever been, in ultimate charge. And this realization, should bring you the deepest comfort. For I am truly in control, and my intentions for you are perfectly good. When you exhaust yourself trying to manage everything, you are spending precious energy trying to steer a ship through a cosmic storm using only a tiny paddle. Release that need to control. Give it to me. And in that release, you will find a genuine stillness you have been craving. You will sleep peacefully, knowing that I am the ever-watchful guardian, protecting you and those precious to you through the night. You will face the unknown of a new day, not with dread, but with a quiet confidence, certain that I see everything from its beginning to its perfect completion, directing all things toward my good plan. Another chain that binds you is comparison. Unease arises when you measure your life against others. You look at what others have, their successes, their relationships, their possessions, and you worry you are behind. You evaluate your private journey by their public presentation, and you feel you are not enough. You struggle for status and accomplishments, fearing you do not measure up. But I never called you to walk another's path. I never meant for you to judge yourself by anyone else's timeline or trophies. I called you to walk the unique, singular, beautifully specific path I set for you alone. Your life's purpose is yours, and it is incomparable. What belongs to you is yours by my design. What belongs to another is theirs. In my kingdom, there is no scarcity of blessing, only collective purpose and celebration. The moment you stop comparing, stop competing, a deep, profound source of discomfort will disappear from your life. Yet another link in this chain is the fear of people. You worry excessively about how others see you. You fear their judgment, their disapproval, their rejection. You deplete your emotional energy trying to please everyone, to gain universal approval. But understand this: the fear of man is a snare. It holds you back from the bold, free life I designed for you. You cannot pursue my approval and people's acceptance simultaneously. Put pleasing me first. Walk in obedience to my gentle voice. Live in the integrity I love. And you will find a freedom and a quiet peace that no human praise could ever provide. Human opinion is fickle, changing like the wind. But my truth about you stands strong, steady, and eternal. You are my precious one, deeply valued, fully known, and entirely loved by me. This reality does not alter, regardless of who speaks against you or overlooks you. So, how do you build this life of liberated trust? Let me give you a key. Cultivate a regular, deliberate practice of thankfulness. Worry focuses its entire attention on what could go wrong. Gratitude forcibly shifts its gaze to what is already good, what is already a gift. Develop a spirit of appreciation. Train yourself to notice, to name, to cherish the myriad good things I have already placed in your life. When you do this, you leave less and less room for distress to dwell. Let this thankfulness mark the start of your day and the close of your evening. Acknowledge me for the gift of life itself, for the strength in your body, for your family, for the provision that sustains you, for my constant, unwavering presence. Even on the hardest days, there is always something to be thankful for. A breath, a memory, a glimmer of hope, a lesson learned. This practice of thankfulness is a powerful act of spiritual warfare. It turns your attention from the shadow of trouble to the substance of goodness. And remember this final, crucial discernment. If a thought, a worry, a paralyzing fear takes hold, know its origin. The spirit I give you is one of power, love, and a sound mind. I bring peace. The opposing force brings confusion. I offer clear sight. The enemy of your soul clouds your mind with vague dread. I provide strength. The accuser fills you with weakness and fear. When you understand where these feelings originate, you can choose, with the authority I give you, not to host them. Do not entertain them. Fill the space of your mind instead with what is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, with whatever is of me. When you fret about provision, remember, I am your provider. When your health causes concern, know, your very existence is held in my gentle hands. When the future fills you with dread, declare, I go before you to prepare the way. Letting go of worry is not a one-time event. It is a daily, moment-by-moment decision. Choose trust instead of fright. Choose certainty in my character instead of doubt in your circumstances. Choose the calm of my presence instead of the alarm of the world. And day by day, with each conscious choice, you will find yourself moving into a broader place. You will feel a peace that truly does surpass all human understanding. You will begin to live the full, unshackled life I have promised you. My precious one, we have spoken of foundations, of sovereignty, of liberation. Now let us build the daily rhythm that makes these truths your lived reality. Let us speak of mornings, of the sacred space between sleep and the world's demands. This is your anchor. This is your lifeline. How you start your day sets the tone, the trajectory, for everything that follows. It is the rudder of your ship. If you wake and immediately plunge your mind into the outer world, into its worries, its frantic news, the opinions of others, the endless scroll of comparison, you surrender your rudder. You allow outside currents and storms to steer your day's journey from the very first moment. You begin in a state of reaction, not of grounded intention. But when you wake and seek me first, before the phone, before the news, before the day's agenda shouts for attention, you do something profound. You invite me to set the pace. You ask me to guide your actions, to bring light to your thoughts, to fill the inner chambers of your heart with my quiet and my certain purpose. You begin from a place of connection, not chaos. The morning holds a gentle, potent strength. It is a fresh beginning, a blank page, a mercy renewed. Each new dawn brings with it new mercies, fresh grace, untouched potential. The stillness of the night departs. The new day's radiance advances. This beautiful transition from dimness to light is not just a celestial event. It is a mirror of what can happen within you. When your heart turns to me in the morning, the light of my presence chases away the shadows of worry, of doubt, of sadness that may have settled upon you as you slept. The unwavering truth I speak calms the misleading thoughts that tried to infiltrate your rest. My peace settles your busy mind like a stilling hand, preparing and fortifying you for everything this new day will bring. In the stillness of early morning, in that holy quiet before the world intrudes, you come to a vital realization. You see with clarity how deeply you lean on my closeness. You understand you cannot navigate this day successfully, with its trials, its decisions, its interactions, through your own strength and wisdom alone. This is not a confession of weakness, but an acknowledgement of truth that leads to supreme strength. In that moment, you let go of the illusion of control. You release the reins, and you welcome me to show you the path, one step at a time. A heart that is quiet, open, and trusting in the morning is a heart perfectly positioned to receive my blessings, my clear direction, and my protective wisdom throughout all the hours that follow. A boastful, self-reliant spirit says, "I have this handled. I know what to do." It rushes into the day without a moment of consultation, without a breath of prayer. But a humble, wise spirit, your spirit as I designed it to be, pauses. It stops at the threshold of the day and says, "I need you. Show me, lead me, fill me." It seeks direction before taking a single step. This is the difference between striving and thriving. When you take my eternal words into your heart each morning, not as a duty, but as a desperate and joyful intake of breath, I use those living truths to speak directly, intimately, to what you will face in the hours ahead. A verse you have read 100 times will suddenly gleam with new, personal meaning. A promise you know in your mind will become a lifeline for your spirit. The truth is alive, and when you spend consistent daily moments with it, with me, it becomes the lens through which you see your job, your relationships, your challenges, your joys. My beloved, I must address the resistance I feel in your spirit. Do not seek excuses to skip our morning meeting. Do not say you have no time. You always, always find room for what you truly value. If you can find 30 minutes for fleeting distractions, for the news that only brings anxiety, for the social media that only brings comparison, you can surely sanctify that same time for me. If you take in the world's narrative each day, you can certainly take in my narrative of grace, hope, and sovereignty. The challenge is not the availability of minutes. It is the intentionality of your heart. It is the decision to prioritize the unseen over the seen, the eternal over the urgent. So, make the practical changes. Change when you rise if you must. Choose to sleep earlier to wake earlier. Prepare the night before. Lay out your things. Decide your breakfast. To make your mornings calm, not chaotic. Clear away anything that habitually steals these precious early hours. Begin to see your time with me not as an item on a checklist, but as the most essential appointment of your day. It is an encounter with the divine, an audience with the King of the universe who longs for your company. It is a meeting you would never miss or postpone. Start small if you must. Start with fewer minutes. Even 5 focused minutes of direct presence, of taking in a single truth from my word, is infinitely more powerful and peace-giving than having no time at all. As this holy habit takes root, you will find yourself longing for more. You will crave those peaceful, intimate morning moments. What begins as a discipline will become a delight. What feels like an obligation will transform into the wellspring of your joy and strength for the day. You will begin to notice the difference, tangible, real, between the days you seek me first and the days you do not. On the days you connect with me at the start, you will walk with greater patience, with deeper insight for difficult people, with more inner calm amidst unexpected storms. On the days you miss our time together, you may feel heavier, quicker to irritation, more easily overwhelmed by the tide of demands. This evident contrast will become your greatest motivation to protect, to guard, to cherish these early moments with me. Therefore, I call you to my side, not just today, but every day. Find me in the first light. Discover my presence before you venture out into the battlefield of the world. Let my truth settle your mind, like a stabilizing weight, before the misleading ideas of the day flood in. Hold on to my peace before confusion has a chance to gain a foothold. Gather your direction from me before you set your own course. Then watch. Watch how I transform your days, sunrise by sunrise. Watch how problems shrink in perspective. Watch how you carry a light within you that darkness cannot comprehend. Watch how solutions appear, how strength is found, how joy bubbles up from a deep hidden spring. This is the fruit of putting me first. This is the practical outworking of trust. This is how you know me, truly know me, as your most profound blessing, your morning anchor, and your constant guide. My precious one, now we must turn our gaze to a reality that shapes your world, though your physical eyes cannot see it. We must speak of the conflict, the unseen battle that rages around and within the sphere of your life. Do not be afraid. For I do not reveal this to alarm you, but to arm you. The force that opposes your spirit, that stands against your peace and your purpose, is real. Its attacks are not imaginary, they are strategic. But hear this, and let it sink into the core of your being. I have already given you everything you need not just to stand firm, but to achieve overwhelming victory. You do not need to live in fear of this opponent. Its primary method is not physical force against you, but deception. It cannot force your choices, for your will is sacred territory. But it can, and it does, whisper lies. It accuses. It condemns. It suggests. It tries to convince you to believe what is false about me, about yourself, and about your circumstances. Its greatest victory is not in making you suffer externally, but in making you agree with its twisted narrative internally. When you agree with its deceptions, when you say yes to hopelessness, yes to unworthiness, yes to God has forgotten you, you give those lies a foothold in your life, a place to build a stronghold. But when you reject its untruths and find your footing on the solid rock of my truth, you secure your victory before the battle even fully manifests. This is why knowing my truth, really knowing it, holding it in your heart, is so crucial in this hidden war. My word is your unwavering truth. It is the light that exposes the enemy's tricks and prepares you to stand firm against every scheme. You must learn to recognize the adversary's quiet suggestions, that sudden, sharp fear that has no clear source, the crushing wave of shame over a past already forgiven, the isolating thought that you are utterly alone and no one cares, the nagging voice that says, "It's pointless, just give up." Learn to recognize these as foreign intrusions, and then refuse to listen, refuse to host them. Say, "This is not the voice of my shepherd." The adversary also attempts to strike through your life experiences, using difficulties and trials to discourage you, to make you question my goodness, to make you believe I am absent or punishing you. However, and this is a supreme truth of my sovereignty, even when this foe initiates an attack, I can shift it. I can redirect it. I can unravel its intended harm and reweave it for your ultimate well-being and for my glory. What the enemy means for your destruction, I can transform into a tool for your deepening and a testimony of my power. So, do not assume every difficult moment is a direct assault from this darkness. And do not think that even if it does originate there, I cannot still use it for your gain, for your refinement. Sometimes, my beloved, I allow this adversary to test you. I permit a season of challenge. Why? because such trials, when met with faith, build a spiritual muscle that cannot be developed in times of ease. They form a character of resilient hope. They deepen your reliance on me to a level that comfort could never teach. Your challenge, therefore, is not in avoiding every hardship. Your victory lies in holding firm in your trust when hardships arise and in using the spiritual protections, the full armor I have given you. What are these divine aids I have placed within your reach? First and foremost, prayer. Speaking with me is not a last resort. It is your most powerful offensive and defensive weapon. When your heart turns to mine in authentic conversation, you tap into my limitless power and release my authority into your situation. You invite me to intervene in the unseen realm. You bind what seeks to hinder you and loose my heavenly purposes to unfold on earth. You intercede for yourself and for others. These moments of spiritual connection are moments of vulnerability before me and of fierce authority against the darkness. They push back shadows with the light of my very being. To pray is not to beg a reluctant God. It is to join your will with mine. It is to bring about what I already desire for you. It is aligning your deepest cries with my eternal plans, welcoming my influence to move within your spirit and through your circumstances. Second, my word. It is your sword. But a sword must be held, known, and practiced with. You must grasp my truth deeply, not just intellectually, but in your spirit, to wield it with effect against every challenge. When the enemy whispers, "You are alone," you wield the truth. Never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you. When he hisses, "You are guilty," you declare, "There is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ." Keep my word close to your heart. Meditate on it day and night. Speak its strength over your life, your family, your mind. It is the ultimate reality check against the illusions of the enemy. Third, your faith. This is your shield, able to quench every fiery arrow, every burning doubt, every searing accusation, every inflammatory thought sent by the shadows. When what opposes you launches a barrage of falsehoods, worries, and paralyzing unease, your faith, your active, stubborn trust in me, makes them fizzle and fall harmlessly to the ground before they can ignite within you. This shield affirms, I rely on my Lord's presence more than on this present struggle. I lean on his promises more than on my fluctuating feelings. I trust his character, which is unwavering. Remember this always. My essence holds all power. Anything, any spirit, any circumstance, any lie, trying to make you feel small, powerless, or afraid, must bow to the authority of my name. In my presence, every weight meant to restrain you loses its grip. Every chain meant to bind you is broken. Every storm sent to disorient you finds its course altered. My precious one, you are not a helpless victim in this conflict. You are an equipped warrior, a seated conqueror. The battle is real, but the outcome is certain. Stand firm, then. Pray without ceasing. Hold high the shield of faith. Wield the sword of the Spirit, which is my word. And watch as the ground you stand on, the ground of my peace and your trust, becomes an unassailable fortress. My beloved, having anchored yourself in trust and armed yourself for the unseen, let us now turn to the practical ground of your daily life, the matter of provision. Let me shatter the illusion of scarcity that the world and the father of lies has painted over your vision. For I am the unfailing source, the origin of all things, the one who provides without end, without reluctance, without depletion. My provision for you transcends the merely material. While I care deeply for your physical existence, your need for food, shelter, health, my concern embraces the full spectrum of what you require to live a life of wholeness and peaceful spirit. I arrange practical provisions when your supplies are low. I give clarity and wisdom when decisions are complex and the path is unclear. I bring renewed strength when your emotional and physical energy has faded to a whisper. I bring the comfort of my presence when grief sits heavy on your chest. I reveal the next step when you feel utterly lost. I bring renewal and restoration when you are weakened by the journey. I offer the calm of certainty when anxiety takes hold of your thoughts. I bring authentic joy to the surface when sadness lingers like a fog. I ignite hope when you feel discouraged and ready to quit. Whatever you need, whether tangible or intangible, I provide. Why? Because all things in all realms belong to me. I spoke them into being, and I sustain them all by the powerful word of my command. In my kingdom, there is no scarcity, no depleted storehouse, no limit to the resources at my disposal. When I give to you, I am not drawing from a limited supply, carefully rationing out blessings lest I run out. I draw from a boundless, eternal abundance. You could never exhaust my provision. You could never empty my storehouses. My giving has no end. It is the very nature of who I am. What I share with you does not diminish me. It only increases my capacity to give further, for love multiplies in the giving. This is a fundamental reality of my nature that surpasses human economy and understanding. I know your needs, your true needs, before you even form them into a request. I see what is absent or breaking in your life before you are fully aware of the lack. I'm always ahead of you, ordering events, orchestrating divine appointments, positioning people, and preparing resources to meet your needs exactly at the appointed time, in the manner that yields the greatest good. No circumstance surprises me or finds me unprepared. I am the God who goes before you. Yet, you must understand this. My provision often comes in ways you do not expect. You look for help to arrive from one specific direction, a certain job, a particular person, a familiar solution, and I deliver it from a completely different, unforeseen quarter. You imagine my aid taking a specific form, and I present it in another, often better way. You think you require one particular thing, and I grant something else, because I comprehend your truest, deepest needs far more fully than you do. Your prayer is for a solution. My answer is often for your transformation through the process, with provision as a byproduct of trust. Therefore, remain receptive. Do not limit me by your presumptions or tie my hands to your specific, narrow wishes. I am limitless in creativity. My methods are endlessly diverse. Sometimes I provide through miracles, actions that defy normal patterns. These exceptional acts of care are to show you my power, to confirm that I am not restricted by natural laws or worldly limits, and to strengthen your faith in my ability to do anything. Other times, my assistance flows through the most ordinary channels. I direct you to opportunities that uphold your daily living. I bring supportive, kind individuals across your path at the perfect moment. I give you wisdom and discipline to manage the resources you already have with care and stewardship. I create clear opportunities for your honest labors to bear fruit. I bless the work of your hands and guide your diligent endeavors toward triumph. Never despise the commonplace, the regular paycheck, the helpful neighbor, the timely advice. These are no less my provision than the astonishing, miraculous gift. Every good thing you receive, in whatever form it comes, flows from my benevolent heart. My care for you extends further than merely fulfilling your every wish. I am a loving father, not a cosmic vending machine. Sometimes I withhold what you ask for, seeing that it would ultimately cause you harm or draw you away from the true path of your greatest welfare. Other times I delay my gifts, awaiting the perfect moment, or for your heart to be ready to receive and steward what I long to give. My provisions might sometimes seem less than your request, teaching you the profound lesson of leaning on me daily, of living in dependence, rather than stockpiling for a self-secure future. And sometimes I supply far beyond your immediate needs so that you can share, uplift, and become a channel of blessing to those around you, so you can participate in the joy of giving as I do. Trust completely, my beloved, that every gift, every restraint, its timing, and its form, is perfectly aligned for your ultimate well-being and for the unfolding of my glorious story in your life. So, what is your role in this? It is to trust and to obey. When I give clear direction, move with assurance. If I create a clear passage where you saw no way forward, walk through it without hesitation. If I arrange for others to stand with you, receive their aid with humility, knowing I move their heart. If I close a door, do not spend your energy forcing it back open. Trust that I am guarding you from what would not serve you, or gently leading you to something far better, and always cultivate a heart of gratitude. This is the key that unlocks continuous awareness of my provision. When someone shows you unexpected generosity, know that I am the ultimate source. I spoke to their heart. I provided them with the means to help you. Receive such acts as gifts from my hand, and be thankful. But also, be ready to be my instrument. Just as I use others to bless you, I desire to use you to be a conduit of my provision for others. This cycle of receiving with thanks and giving with joy places you squarely in the river of my abundance. Remember, my precious one, my greatest provision was not a worldly thing. It was the gift of myself. I freed you from the eternal burden of sin through my complete act of love on the cross. I cleared your past and secured your future through that ultimate devotion. I gave you unending life by overcoming every boundary, even death. I placed my very spirit within you. I made you completely my own. These spiritual certainties are of immeasurable eternal value, far greater than any earthly comfort. They are yours forever, so depend on me. Present your requests to me in the quiet moments. Use wisely what I have already given. Manage my blessings with thoughtful stewardship. Give generously out of what you have received. Follow my lead, and then watch. Watch as I provide everything you need, completely at the right time in the best way. All for my glory, and for your deepest, most enduring good. My precious one, you have listened. You have let these words settle from your mind into your spirit. You have walked with me through the foundation of peace, the fortress of trust, the liberation from fear, the anchor of the morning, the reality of the battle, and the river of provision. This understanding you now hold is not for private contemplation alone. It is not a treasure to be buried for safekeeping. It is a seed. It is a sword. It is a mandate. It is time to step into the full living reality of what you now know. This moment, this precise decree, reaches its fulfillment not in hearing, but in doing. I call you now from the place of receiving to the sacred ground of giving, from being a vessel filled to becoming a spring overflowing. First, you must proclaim your stand. Right now in the silent sanctuary of your heart, or aloud in your room, affirm the truth you have embraced. Declare it. Speak the word that seals this transaction between your spirit and mine. Say, Amen. Let it not be an empty religious word, but a powerful spiritual seal. Let it mean, so be it, I agree, I believe, I receive, I align myself with this divine reality. I am yours, and your promises are mine. This Amen is your signature on the covenant of peace I have extended. It is the moment the theory becomes your blood and bones truth. Now, you must become a beacon. The light you have received is not to be hidden under the basket of your own life. You are healed to heal. You are comforted to comfort. You are set free to free others. I call upon you now to intentionally, courageously, spread this knowing. Take this certainty and this comfort to at least 3 others who walk in shadow, who are trapped in doubt, who are parched for the water of hope you now possess. Share your story. Share this truth. Speak of my closeness, my faithfulness in your valley. Do not worry about eloquence. Share your authenticity. By doing this, you become an active extension of my presence in the earth. You strengthen a profound, unbreakable chain of blessing, You will discover that your own peace deepens as you become a conduit of peace for others. You are never alone, but there is a greater, overcoming strength that is released when my children walk together, bearing one another's burdens, and shining light for each other's path. This leads to the next action: consistent return. Do not let this be a one-time encounter. The soul, like the body, requires daily nourishment. Return here, to this place of quiet communion with me, consistently. Seek my face daily. Let my words be your daily bread, your morning manna. Join the faithful hearts around the world who make the conscious daily choice to seek my constant presence, allowing my guidance to shape their journey moment by moment. Let this script be a starting point, but then dive into the endless depth of my living word. Let prayer become not a monologue of requests, but a dialogue of deep friendship. In this daily returning, you will not be maintaining a ritual. You will be stoking the fire of a relationship. This is how the truth becomes unshakable within you. Now, face forward. I give you vast inner power and clear choice. You have the authority right now to break the remaining chains of anything that weighs you toward hopelessness. With the assurance now in your spirit, firm your footing. Walk into this day and every day with a divine determination. Understand this. Today holds divinely arranged opportunities, encouraging understandings, and helpful chances. Yes, challenges will still appear. They ask for your focused faith, for your steadfast will to overcome. But you now know the secret. You must learn to rest in me, even as you work for me. For within every difficulty, I have hidden a blessing greater than you can presently comprehend. Therefore, I guide you now to a final, practical cleansing. Let go of all doubt, all complaint, from your mind. Reject, forcefully, any lingering pull toward a spirit of sadness or victimhood. Many greet each day by mentally listing their troubles, rehearsing what they lack. In doing so, they become blind to the gifts I have already lavished upon them, simply because those blessings don't fit their narrow expectation of what good should look like. From this day forward, you are not of that company. You are of the company of those who give thanks in all circumstances, who see my hand in the breaking of the dawn, and in the closing of the door, in the provision, and in the waiting. My beloved, I am your everlasting source of affection. My intention for your life and for your loved ones is to thrive, to be enveloped in a peace that disarms chaos. My plans for you are distinct, purposeful, and good. So move forward. Move with the confidence of one who is held. Take my hand. You have reached for it, and I am here. Face an obstacle? You now face it with me, and therefore it is beneath your feet. Reach for a blessing? It is yours, for you reach with the hand of faith that I have placed it in. This is the truth that originates from the throne of my rule. Cherish it as your most profound understanding. My aim is to guard you, to protect you from true harm, to prevent you from falling into hopelessness or fatal error. My light now illuminates your journey from within you, preventing any force from successfully drawing you back into the darkness of confusion or fear. So, my precious one, hold fast. Hold fast to this profound reality. I command the events of your existence. You are loved. You are led. You are provided for. You are empowered. You are a peace-bearer in a war-torn world. You are a light-bringer in the gathering dimness. The decree has been spoken over you. Peace, wholeness, victory. Your response has been sealed. Amen. Your mission is clear. Go, shine, share, now, live. Live as one who truly knows, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that I am with you always, even to the very end of the age. Go in the power of this moment. Go in my peace.